Hey, yo, L, what time is it?
7 o'clock. Why? What's up?
Hindsight time. That's what's up. Hindsight time. You already know.
Don't leave me. Trying to get my knowledge on too.
That good old knowledge without a college. Well,
Don't extend you with the knowledge.
you walking on slowly and get the hot stepping.
You know what time it is. Those who don't listen, special.
Real special. Real special. You know, I ain't old as I look, but I'm never too old to get that knowledge. One down. Right, ready.
You have to go through something to accomplish something. Say it again. You have to go through something to accomplish something. Unfortunately, a lot of people are not willing to go through something to accomplish something. It's too hard. That's too much. I hear people say it all the time. Man, that stuff you do, I couldn't do that. Working that hard and making all those phone calls, get those loads. I can't do it. That's too much. Basically what they're saying, it's easier for them to go work for somebody and be told what to do. That's what's easy. I think they just be talking when they say that. They don't really understand what they're saying. It's like Christ said when they had him up there, crucify him, and he said, forgive them, Father. They know not what they do. And I'll say to that, forgive them, Father. They know not what they say. They don't know the consequences of their very words. They don't know. It's that simple. Do you realize that you're receiving your reward of every word that you utter out of your mouth? There's a saying in the church, power of life and death is in the tongue. And that is very true. The power of life and death is in your tongue. The power of success and failure is in your tongue, in the words you utter. Not just the words you utter, the words you think, because the thinking of the words come before you actually speak it. You have to double down on it, meaning you have to contract with the word before you speak it, right? You think about it, hey, this is what I'm thinking, and you speak it. You think about it, then you decide to speak it. You create a contract with your consciousness. Oh, I accept what this is as the truth, and I'm going to speak it now so that I can solidify it and see that it comes forth. So imagine if you was armed with the knowledge that the feminine aspect is wisdom. So now you know what to look for in a wife, a woman who has wisdom. And I mean, look around us. Look around. There's not many of that going on. Wisdom. Everybody's chasing after the next fad or trend, you see? Everybody's doing things that are not wise. Why? Because we come from a system that taught us not to be wise. They taught us that we needed their education system to go get a job. That's not wisdom. That's not wise, because that's not what God gave us. Remember, wisdom is worth more than gold, silver, and any riches you got. See, when they told the story of Solomon when he became king and God asked him what he wanted, he said wisdom. This here, it really opens your eyes up to why they took this out, so that you don't see the power of both man and woman. So they had to choose one. They chose one and put the other one down, and you need them together. See, that man, Solomon, knew he needed wisdom. He needed that feminine aspect of knowledge and understanding and compassion. What I was going to say is, it probably was very difficult to see it through all of the arguing. It's very hard to see the truth when you're looking at all of the arguing, because that's all you can see is what's not going right. What happened was you was put in a state of rest where your mind could only focus on your health. So you couldn't see all of the other stuff. You were focused on your health. And because you were focused on your health and he was focusing on your health, that's when you was able to see the beauty of whether he loved you or not. That's crazy though, because it's kind of crazy that it takes something real tragic for you to really see the truth of a person. Isn't that weird that things got to get really bad and say, okay, now, because at that point, ain't nobody arguing. You just like, oh, she's sick and we got to do something about this. Everybody's in heightened panic mode. Let's take care of this. Let's get you back to your health. No one's thinking about whether they're going to be right or wrong. We just talking about this health issue. And that's the truth, because that's when you really see who you really got in your corners, when you really need that person, where you have to rely on them and you can't do for yourself. That's when you see the truth. Hola. Hey, what's up, sup? Thank you for tuning in to Truth Tuesday with your host, AKIEM L. We're going to be talking about these sovereign citizen tactics that I don't like to endorse or support. I'm going to watch a video of that. And you're gonna watch how that stuff doesn't work. It's the paperwork that they want to show and all of those things. Can you guys hear me pretty good? How y'all doing out there? How y'all doing out there? Can y'all hear me pretty well? What did I do with I have my iPad. Sure. I gotta do my mic check. Yeah, so tonight we're probably gonna have a short show, but if you guys want to, y'all can. Let's see. Where's the There's a number if you want to call in on Blog Talk and share your thoughts about what we are going to talk about today. Everybody said I'm coming through clear. Thank you. Right, so let's get to it. Let's get to it. And let me show you this video. Oh, let me make the screen bigger. Let's play it.
And I'm not under color of law.
We've covered this sovereign citizen before.
Was that so far? Why do we have to go through that, bro?
But now we've uncovered another attempt to outlawyer the cops. Let's see what happens when his fantasy world meets cold reality.
Okay, so I'm violating your right. Get out of the vehicle.
The initial stop was for driving without a tag light, but these Broward County officers would soon find a tag light to be the least of their worries.
Now, what's crazy is every time these guys are these people want to pull these stunts with the police, they never have the proper credentials, or their tags are always expired, because people are using these tactics so they don't have to pay their registration. They don't have to pay taxes, things like that. And they used to be driving these beat up old cars. So to me, these tactics are for broke people who are broke. It's always some I ain't even gonna say it, but let's go.
Let me have your driver license and your registration. Huh? Don't have driver license.
No driver's license, no
registration. So what are you doing? Jurisdiction. I don't drive. I travel.
Sovereign citizens will often claim that they are in travel status and not driving, arguing that driving is a commercial activity. Relying on this reasoning, sovereign citizens will often forge their own driver's licenses, license plates, and other official documents.
That's a jurisdiction, man.
I don't do your forging of
a favor,
that driver's license. How do you forge it?
Turn off.
They just create their own stuff.
Get out of the vehicle. Turn off the car and get out of the vehicle. Really gonna violate right here? Yes. Turn off the car and get out of the vehicle, sir.
Now this cop is
This
being
is the
patient.
sign that I'm gonna ask you for. I gave you my national identification card, man. Get out of the vehicle. You're really violating the national. You need a Florida driver license, not this. I don't drive, sir. Okay. I'm not in your jurisdiction. Get out of the vehicle. Can you call your supervisor? My jurisdiction is Broward County. Call your supervisor. Get out of the vehicle. Can you call
yourself by just exiting the vehicle, please?
Just get out of the vehicle.
We've asked you more than once now. We've asked you a few times.
Can you call your supervisor? Get out of the
They
vehicle.
being very patient.
You need a driver license to drive in the state of Florida. I drive a license. Sir, registration, I don't need none of that. I'm not. Sir, get out of the vehicle. Counselor jurisdiction, that's the law. It's on.
Counseling jurisdiction. I never heard of that.
Out of the vehicle. Get out of the flag. Get out of the vehicle, sir. Call your.
See, he gave him that Morris Science Temple flag stuff. You see my flag and all of this, and it never works. But people fall for it all the time. Every time I go on Facebook, I see the people endorsing this stuff.
Call your supervisor. Okay, this is the last warning for you to get out of the vehicle. Can you call your supervisor for me?
Sir, if you don't get out of the car, we're gonna take you out of the car. Understand that.
They're being
We're
paid.
asking you to go ahead and just step to the back.
We can do this the easy way or the hard way. You choose. So you're gonna violate
Nobody's violating your rights. We're asking you to come out of the
my
car.
rights by telling me to get out of my vehicle. Okay, so I'm violating your right. Get out of the vehicle.
The other cop like, yeah, I'm violating. Get out.
The law. Get out of the vehicle, sir.
Yeah, I'm violating.
I'm gonna call my supervisor. Get out of the vehicle. Call your supervisor.
When you get out of the car and you step back here, we'll call our supervisor.
That's why we tell y'all, you know,
Here, right
you don't do that. Get your international driving permit.
right now.
And
I am not exiting my conveyance. Yes, you are exiting your vehicle. No, I'm not. Call your supervisor for me. Sir, this is the last time that I'm gonna ask you. Call your supervisor.
I ain't gonna start recording.
Call your supervisor. Because you're violating.
So I would say if it was me, I would have an international. If I don't have the right to get an international driving permit, but the only thing about an international driving permit, you got to have a driver's license from a foreign country in order, or a passport from a foreign country. IEP. What's going on with my camera? Oh, you can't just have a IDP or international driving permit. Apparently, somebody's out there selling some information with my information on it, with my IDP information on it. I think I did a webinar where I showed my application for IDP, and someone is out there promoting that, and I've been getting a lot of calls about that, like as if it's me that's uh teaching people that. So I'm like, where did you get that from? Oh, I got it from here. There, one of those cheapy sites that they give away stuff free. They get it, So let's finish. You said my mic is low. How's that? That should be better. They taking them out. There you go. This is what happened if you try this. Yeah, national this. Here's your nationality. You're national of the asphalt right now. He's done. All right, we can stop that. There you go. That's what happens when you play that game. How's my mic now? Is that better? When you play that, maybe it's something going on over here. Over here, it looks like my mic is pretty good. Like, maybe something going on with my board. All right. Let's see what the chat got to say. I'm trying to get my window back up here. There we go. Let somebody up. If 510-993, if you're on Blog Talk, hit the 1 button if you want to talk. So here's the thing about doing that whole, I'm traveling, I got my national ID. This is why I tell you guys to get your passport done and correct your driver's license so you don't have that problem. Some things you're just not going to be able to get around in this matrix. Some things you're going to have to participate with in the matrix in order to navigate. You know, what if this guy had his family in the car and he was pulling that nonsense? I see somebody on Blog Talk, but I don't know if they want to talk because they ain't. There's another video I wanted to show y'all. It was one with a woman in court, and she was telling the judge. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, this is the one. This is the one. Let me skip this commercial. Oh, I haven't seen this one. Yeah. Said you can't hear me? Hold on. I don't know. He called it gibberish. Is that better? I'm gonna have to stop this because this is actually. Yeah, that video is working right. Yeah, I had it down. It was skipping. All right, how's that sound? Sounding better now? I don't know. Somebody said they haven't heard me. Still, how's that now? Very, very low. I don't know what happened. Everything's good over here. Maybe they making my stuff low. So, how about now? How's that? I don't know what to do because I'm using the same maybe because when I played that video it was low. Played to share the screen. I'm gonna pause a second. Let's see what the comments saying. Low. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna play this video and I'll be right back. Alright, we're recording. Alright. Thank you for attending this webinar on how to correctly fill out that driver's license application. How to get your nationality into the record properly. You know, in the past, all we do is fill out their paperwork because we haven't thought that we can attach our own their paperwork to separate us and distinguish our nationality out. More importantly, let them know that we're not 14th Amendment. That's the key. You know, we do know that there is two types of citizens. There's a federal citizen or a United States citizen, and there is a citizenship. So I'm going to show y'all how to distinguish yourselves, because this is not only going to help with how to get identified in your nationality, because you want to build up as much as possible, because we're going into these court cases. This is why I'm doing this, so you get your reasons. And other you want to do is make sure your records and have them send you a certified copy of it. And that you're going to use in everything else that you're going to do, namely passportations or anything else. You get questioned, you get pulled over. Hey, this is my driver's license application. You can hand that to me. This is all right. Identity. To establish identity, an applicant must have at least one of the following source documents: valid, unexpired U.S. passport, a certified copy of a birth certificate filed with the state office of vital statistics or equivalency in the individual state of birth, consular report of birth abroad issued by the Department of State, Form FS-240, DS-1350, F-45, valid, unexpired permanent residence card, I-551 issued by DHS or INS, by employment authorization document issued by DHS, Form I-766 or Form I-688B, unexpired foreign pass, valid unexpired U.S. visa affixed, accompanied by the approved I-9 from documenting applicants, most recent admittance into the United States, certificate of U.S. citizenship, certificate of naturalization, real ID driver, such other documents that DHS may designate by notice in the Federal Register. Now, pay attention to what I'm about to read. Where a state permits an applicant to establish a name other than the name that appears on the source document, for example, through marriage, adoption, court order, or other mechanisms permitted by regulation, the state shall require evidence of the name change to the presentation of issued by court, governmental body, or other entity as determined by the state. Shall maintain copies of the documentation presented pursuant to 3731 and make of both the recorded name and the name on the source documents in a manner to be determined by the state in conformity with 3731. Date of birth. To establish date of birth, you must present at least one document, including paragraph C of this section. E. Social Security number. Except as provided in paragraph E3, individuals presenting to identity documents listed in 3711(2) must present his or her Social Security Administration account number card, or Social Security Administration account card is not available. The person may present any of the following applicant's Social Security number. And here's a list: a W-2, a SSA 1099 form, a non-SSA 1099 form, or a pay stub with the AKIEM and SSN on it. The state DMV must verify the SSN pursuant to 113B2 of this applicant. So if you give them that number, they're going to verify it. But we're going to teach you how not to give it. Individuals present not document listed in 3711C1, I think that's 6, and SSN or demonstrate non-work authorized status. So, documents demonstrating address of principal residence. To document the address of principal residence, a person must present at least 2 documents of the state that include the individual name and principal residence. A street address is required except as per Section 3717 of this part. Evidence of lawful in the United States. If an applicant let's skip down to accept process. A state DMV may choose and establish a written defined exception process who, for reasons beyond their control, are unable to present all necessary documents, rely on alternate documents to establish identity or date of birth. Alternative to demonstrate lawful status will only be allowed to demonstrate U.S. citizenship. Each state establishing an exception process must make reasonable efforts to establish the authenticity of alternate documents each time they are presented and indicate that a process was used in the applicant's record. So this is what we're going to attack, exceptions process. And what is that exception? The Constitution, freedoms, not to use these numbers on any of your documents. I don't care what their law, their code say, you have to demonstrate the Constitution, which they cannot override, what not giving up a social, and why you're checking off certain things on that box. All right? So that's pretty much what I want to read. Now let's read this last one. States are not required with these requirements when issuing real ID, driver's license, or identification for the federal, state, or local criminal justice agencies or other programs that require special identification to safeguard persons or in support of their other official duties. Directed by appropriate officials of these federal, state, local agencies, states should take steps to safeguard the identities of such persons. Driver's license and ID cards issued in support of federal, state, or local criminal justice programs that require special licenses or identification to safeguard persons or supporting their other official duties should not be distinguishable from other real licenses or identification cards issued by the state. So they're saying that if their agents don't have to comply with these rules, everyone is exempt from that except their people are exempt. So why are they exempt? They're not coming in as U.S. citizens. Now they're telling you issue capacities and stuff. We all know that these people in these federal agencies are working outside of the codes and statutes, working outside of the 14th to enforce those 14th Amendment rules. All right, let's move on. All right, let me just see if I got questions. All right, let me unmute all. All right, anybody got a question before I go? Hello?
I have a question.
Who's that, Raheem?
All right. Yeah. Is with the addresses. We basically started my process of minimum contacts at my physical address. So how would you go about showing a document that has your address if none of them are at your where the illegus lies his head?
I would tell you use a 1099. That's why I showed you that list.
Okay.
Now, I'm gonna pause the recording. I'm about to say somebody needs to. Hold on. Somebody's got. All right, that was Ken. All right, let me pause the recording real quick. Let's get back to it. Any more questions? Hello? No? Okay. All right. I'm muting mics again. All right. Let's go to. All right. Okay. So, I don't know. Something's either with YouTube or my setup here, but I'm doing everything normally. Because I even heard the skipping when it was playing. I was watching the video from my laptop, my iPad, and it was skipping. So how's my sound? Can you guys hear me pretty good now? Oh, I don't even have to do that. I could just put the volume up on my iPad. Oh, there it is. It sounds good to me. It seemed like when I was playing that, sharing that screen, it started to mess up right there. I don't know why, but y'all got the message about, somebody in the chat said something about, I'm going to read it. There's always one person who, it'll work if you do this right, does. Oh. He says, that works if you do the procedure properly. Well, okay, what's the, get on here. My number is right there, 515-605-9723. RG Solutions. You could call in and we could talk about that. You said it works if you do the procedure right. Well, tell us what the procedure is. Let's talk about it. 515-605-9723. 515-605-9723. You put in there a definitive statement that it works if you do the procedure right. So what procedure are you talking about? What's the procedure? Let's hear it. 510-993. I see you there. If you I guess he's on here. Maybe he don't not here today. 510-993. 510-993. I opened up your mic on Blog Talk. You called in. Can you hear me? He dropped. Somebody say handle it with your notice of appearance. Let me get my camera working right. Notice of appearance and motion to dismiss. Oh, when you go to court. Okay, now, notice of appearance is something I taught a long time ago. Give a notice of appearance, but that's not the complete process. Notice of appearance, let them know you're coming in as yourself and not as a straw man. You got to use very specific wording. The wording I have used that has made me, that I've gotten success with is, I am my name, upper and lower, but not all caps and leaguers. I make that very clear. Now I use a spiritual designation in front of that. I'll say, comes now spiritual man, AKIEM Barber, or upper and lower, but not the all caps, something to that effect. So I'll do that, but a motion to dismiss is proper, but it's not. A lot of times we say, "Oh, do a motion to dismiss," but on what grounds? What are you dismissing it for? You got to give the complete answer. Why am I dismissing it? Why am I asking? Because they don't have jurisdiction. The jurisdiction is an iffy one, but more or less they don't have a warrant. A warrant is supposed to be signed by a judge. It's supposed to say, "Well, I saw this guy such and such, swear to it. I believe a crime has been committed," and go get that warrant. But they're doing what you call warrantless stops, warrantless arrest. To be arrested, do you know you need to have a warrant to be arrested? You can be detained without a warrant, but to be arrested, you must. So when they say you're under arrest, they just did a warrantless arrest. I'm waiting on RG Solutions to come on. He had a lot of stuff to say in that chat. Come on. Come on. Somebody see Rome G say, "I don't deal with no courts and I will let them know return to sender with refusal for cause." I want to hear that method too. I've heard that one, but I've never seen it be successful. I never seen it be successful. Yeah, I think it had something to do when I shared the screen and the video was low. That's what happened. That share screen function. I'm just waiting for like I say, RG, where you at? I'm like, yeah, a lot to say. Yeah, that's another one. Guilty without due process. Yeah, you are being tried on the side of the road. They want you to pay the fine. I'm trying to get this guy in here, see if maybe he can't hear me. Hang on. I'm gonna open his mic up again and see if he can hear me. 510-993. Can you hear me? I know what to do. Every time I open up the mic, I open his mic up, ain't nobody saying nothing. Five 510-993. What's going on? Let me try it this way. Hey, he hung up again. 5. Oh, that's me. Echo. Let me hang that up. Yeah, whoever it is, they're trying to come in, but I don't know if they can hear me or not. Let me see something. I'm testing something here. All right. Maybe that might be it. He might not be able to hear me. Oh, he might not. I think that was the problem. He couldn't hear me. That might be the problem. So I'm going to have to go this route. Let's hook this to my board. Somebody said they never knew about needing to have a warrant to actually be arrested. Yes, you have to have a warrant to arrest someone. That's what they call an arrest warrant. And then they have to take you to jail, to keep you in jail. They need another warrant, an incarceration warrant. So what they do is they take you off to jail. They detain you until they get the warrant. That's why you sit at the station for all of those hours before they take you off to jail, because they have to, it's called processing you. Oh, yes. They need a lot of things, bro. They need a lot of things. All right. I'm trying to get this here block talk going, right? But for some reason, it's not behaving tonight. All right. So 510, if you call back in, I might be able to get you on. I think Block Talk is acting up too. Be able to get you in there. I think that's what the issue was. That Blog Talk was giving problems. All right. Mute that. All right, I'm tired of fiddling around with this technology. They do these updates, and every time they update, they screw me up. It says send them a text message. I can't send them a text. I don't know his number. All right, yes, you do need a warrant to arrest someone. So, and they also need a warrant to sit there and question you. Yes, they need a warrant. So when they pull you over, and that's why they ask you questions, do you know how fast you're going? They're getting you to incriminate yourself, and there go their probable cause. You just admit it. So they write the ticket and tell you, well, you can pay it before your court date, or come to court, I'll work it out, or come to court, we'll screw you even more. That's what happens in these cases. So I would suggest, if you want to drive without proper light, I would never drive my car unregistered or insured. I wouldn't do that. But when it comes to the driver's license, there's ways that you can properly drive, and that's with an IDP. But IDP must be supported by a foreign driver's license or a foreign passport. One of those two things. How you going to get a foreign driver's license? I don't know. But that's how it works. It used to work where you could just show the IDP, but now they have trained them to not accept the IDP because the law, the rule says IDPs must accompany a driver's license from the foreigner's country or a passport. You cannot use an IDP and then show a USA passport or a state driver, ID card. You can't do that. Now they got you. Remember, they're always looking for the ins legis to attach something to that, to sue that, to form a complaint against that name. So if anything, years ago when I helped that case where I told you I helped my son and he got out of it, they dismissed all the stuff. But the reason why he had problems because he had the IDP with the foreign driver's license, but also in his possession was his passport from the USA. And that they used that. They made up a bunch of stuff. He was driving with the false license, and they threw all of that out. I still have the receipts or the stubs from when they gave us all the money back. So there you have it. There you have it. Yeah. All right. What's the comment? Yeah, international driver's permit. You can get, there's only one good place to get it. I'll send the link out. I'll put that in the membership. I don't know what that guy, I know when I bought it, I paid $200 for it. I don't know what he's charging now. It's a guy out of Hawaii who makes it. If you do a search for it, you're not going to find it correctly because there's other types of international driving permits. Like the AAA does it, but it's a different association, so that's not going to work for you. Plus, they'll get you the international driver's permit, but there's only work in other countries. It don't work here. So really, you can go to a foreign country and rent a car as long as you show your credentials from your country that you are licensed to drive, even without an international driving permit. Because I could have went to Portugal and rented a car. I didn't. I wasn't about to drive them streets like that. I thought about it, but that was too much. Because those streets were tight. The parking is tight. And yeah, and over there they got, pay for parking stuff. And plus I couldn't read them signs, so I wasn't about to fool with that. But I was talking to my buddy in Spain. He was like, I should rent a car when I come there because where he lives is very hard to get around without your own transportation. So I might rent one when I go to Spain. It's a certain part of Spain that I'm going to be traveling to. I forgot the name. Al something. It starts with an A. All right. So nobody want to get on and chime in. I think that one guy wanted to chime in. Okay, A White says, let's see what he says. I got pulled over and I gave them my passport. The officer was with a field training officer. They let me go. It was AKIEM's project. Yeah, that's another thing. I didn't talk about that. Give him your passport card. I did that. And I got let go. I got some tickets. I beat the tickets, but he did write me some tickets. But I beat him. I went to court and I did a motion to dismiss. First, I asked for, before you do a motion to dismiss, because you only get one shot at the one motion to dismiss. I always ask for discovery. Then once they give me discovery, which they never do, I do my motion to dismiss right after that. Or I'll do it all at the same time. They never give you discovery on a traffic case. They say, oh, we don't have to give you that. So what is this? If you're not following proper rules of evidence in a traffic case, you're saying I did something, but you don't want to give me the evidence that you're using against me. They've actually said that to me. But what they do is when they say that to you, they always offer a way out. Like every time I got positioned with, well, we don't have to give you that, but here's what we'll do. We'll say your speedometer broke. Mechanical failure. We'll give you that. Pay us a little money, and we'll let you go. Let it go. We'll dismiss it. It won't affect your license and what. Man, I take that deal all the time. I take it. But see, the problem with these sovereign citizens, they get in there challenging the judge, talking over the judge, talking over the cops. If that video, if you watch it to the end, those cops were extremely patient. They waited, said, "Come on, get out, get out, get out," and then they finally snatched him out. But see, when he go to tell his boys, and he get in front of his other people who think like him, yeah, man, they threw me on the ground. He ain't gonna tell them that they took almost 10 minutes before they threw him out, and it was asking him nicely. You see, it's not always cops out there to act crazy. I know the news will show you the few that do that. In my own personal experience, I've been pulled over. They've always been nice and cordial. They weren't rude. And the reason why they wasn't rude for the most part, because I didn't come at them with hostilities. A lot of people who are doing these processes are yelling at the cop, you ain't got to, and being all aggressive. So what do you think? You got to put yourself in a cop's shoes, right? He's got to deal with criminals all the time, people who are actually criminals. He's got to be on the lookout. He's on level 10 all the time with his alertness. That's where he needs to be. Now here you come. You don't have no jurisdiction, arguing back and forth. Now, if I was the guy, say if I was in that guy's position, I would say, hey, I don't consent to any searches or giving up anything that's going to incriminate me. They ask me to get out the car. I say, I'm getting out of the car under duress because you asked. I don't want any harm to come my way. But I'm not asking any questions. I'm not going to say all that stuff he was saying. I'm not going to go back and forth. But even if I did say that, I only say it once. I don't need to keep repeating myself. But you think about a cop, he's got to deal with nonsense all day. Here you come and, oh my God, this is just a simple traffic stop to him. It's just a simple traffic stop. Now we turn it into something else. Now I got to arrest this guy. Now I got to write a report. So, if he's got to write a report, he's going to make it he gonna make it worth his while. You see, I don't know why my blog talk is not. Let's see, maybe let me check something. Let me check. Because it's like I don't think the guy can hear me. Let me check over here. System settings. Sound. Oh, that's the problem, right there. Input. Oh, that's that. Output. That. All right, we should be good. All right. All right. Oh, it says they really have court on their side of the road when you go to court is an appeal hearing that you're really in tried and convicted when you get the ticket if you think of the interaction. Yes, you are tried and convicted. He's playing judge. He's playing the person who complains about you, the judge, and the jury. Says, can I get a dismissal without my signature being on a contract? I was issued a contract without my signature on the docs. Yes, you can void that. Void it. It's not a proper. I don't know what type of contract you're talking about. What type of contract you talking about? Yeah, what type of contract?
Muted.
What type of contract we're talking about?
Unmuted.
All right. That seems like it works. What type of I got that echo going here. Let me turn that down. What type of I'm doing a test on my mic. All right, let me see the comment. Traffic citation. All right. Well, yes, you could do a motion to dismiss because you didn't sign it. You can beat that, but you have to do the motion to dismiss. And at some cases, you got to do a constitutional challenge, properly do it, because there was a method that was being taught, and that method was incomplete. You can't just put a constitutional challenge without setting forth the grounds of the Constitution. What is the constitutional question? What is it? And in a traffic case, the constitutional question is, it is the fact that they didn't have a warrant to stop you, to question you on the side of the road. Car in the name of the trust. Good idea. Here's why having a car in the name of a trust is good. Say you got tolls, you go through them tolls down in other states, they really don't have any recourse to get at you, or they could come after the trust, but and try to get money through, but it's not like it's attached to you as a person on your driver's license. One thing, they don't know who is driving that car, so they can't really give you a ticket. They can only issue the ticket to the registered owner of the car, which is the trust. And the trust is a dead entity. So that's another thing. If you're using an IDP, you can't have that car registered to you. That's a perfect opportunity to have the car in a trust. Like my car is in a trust. And I noticed since I have my car in a trust, I don't get a whole lot of being pulled over. All right, what time is it? 8 o'clock. Ain't nobody want to get on the chat with me. I think one guy did. I think what happened was the volume was so low, or he couldn't hear me for some reason through the computer. So it didn't work out. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to continue to play that driver's license webinar. I think that's what I was showing. Let's see. Yeah, nationality on driver's license webinar. I'm gonna let y'all listen to that for a little bit. The back to this. This is basically their requirements to give up social and all of the laws. So let's go to this one is this one is a good one to understand. This is now, remember, this is South Carolina laws. And I want you to pay attention to, let's make this a little bit larger. And this is a good to know for UPN process too. Right here, we tell you guys go and do a CPN. Try not to use your driver's license because it's connected to the social. Yes, it is. But it only gets connected by way of what you give them to these private entities. Because right here in section 56.545, sale of social security number, driver's license, photograph, and signature are prohibited. This whole section is, it says the Department of Motor Vehicles may not sell, provide, or otherwise furnish to a private party social security numbers, copies of photographs, or signatures, whether digitized or not, taken for the purpose of driver's license or personal identification card. A social security number, photograph, signature, or digitized image from driver's license or personal identification card is not a public record. So they cannot give this out to anybody. So when they run and stuff, they're not able to get into their database to see what your social is. It's all about what you give these people. So if you use your driver's license on your old information, it's going to connect by way of their private servers or private databases. So if you go to another state, get a driver's license, new address, everything, but you use that address with your new CPN number, now that's connected to it now, to the new one. You see? It's all about what you're giving them that works. That's why this is a real good section to understand what information is shared. They can't do anything. They can't give it out. They're not allowed. All right? let's look at the application itself. I took some notes here on what I wanted to talk about. All right, here's the application. All right, and I was trying to hang on. I was trying to download the old way that I did it. Well, it's still not really the old way. Let me see, what did I do? Okay, here it is. You know, if y'all was part of the membership, you know, we had a way to fill out the driver's license. Well, I want to show you the old way. And first, all right, this is an old, they updated this application since then. Can y'all see that? Somebody just type in the chat whether you can see it or not. Yep, okay, good. All right, let me make it a little larger. Why isn't this going larger? All right, there we go. All right, this is the old way. This is the way they had the application is a little different now than it was. All right, you're gonna put your last name, first name, middle, spell everything out. Of course, you're not gonna put a number there. Then in where it says the address, this is the old way. We're gonna actually go through the South Carolina driver's license and I'm gonna fill it out. You can tell it's old because I put American here before, right? This is before we had the whole nationality thing. So it's gonna ask you, are you a resident of South Carolina? No. You're gonna say no. Are you a citizen of the United States? No. It just then all the other questions, if it pertains to you, check yes or no, right? Then when it gets to this tissue donor part, cross it out. You're not going to touch that. You want to make sure. You notice there's no yes or no when it comes to that. It's just a straight yes that they want you to check off there. All right. Then it's going to ask you for insurance information. You declare that. If you don't have insurance, you just say no motor vehicle required to be registered in South Carolina. You don't have to check that. Now, this is one way to sign your name, and it's very effective. John, I guess that's a hyphen, I guess, whatever that. John Alexander, the colons or semicolon, Doe, then put UCC 1-308. What is that? That's reserving of your rights, and put it in brackets and put the date there. Right there. Why do you want to put it that way? Put it in brackets because of this unsworn declaration up here. It says, I certify under penalty of perjury that all the information and statements made in this application are true and correct as of the date of this application. See, they don't give you room for unsworn declaration. But we're going to fix that. And that's pretty much it right there. Now, when we were doing this, they would tell us we could never come back to the DMV and we had to renew by mail when we did it this way, right? But we're going to change what the race is going to be when we do the new application, which I'm going to go to right now. The new application is here. We're going to fill it out live. All right. Your application for your state may not look like this. All right. So of course I'm going to put here. I don't have a middle name. My mom didn't give me one. And when you put your address in here, you're gonna I want you to bracket the whole thing. You can up and lowercase. I'm just typing this for the sake of time. Bracket there, and then the bracket. Put this in there, and then that's not my actual address. You go there, you're gonna show up at a mailbox facility. So I know how much y'all you know, they want to follow me around, but that's not a good place to go see me at. Boom. Bracket everything. Then if you put your number, email address if you want that. I would say you could put zeros here, like you do on the passport. Or don't put anything at all. Put your date of birth. Oh. Alright. I'm 7'2". Don't believe me, I ain't that. My eye color's brown. And there's not enough room in here to write down what you want. So what you're gonna do is, based on where you from, you're gonna put, I'm gonna see if I can put it in here. Yeah, let me put it in. More New Yorker. That's my race. Or if you want to fit in Aboriginal, it's a lot. More New Yorker or more Aboriginal New Yorker is good enough. More New Yorker. Why did I put New Yorker? Is because of this. Desktop. Can y'all see my screen? See everything I'm showing you? Y'all can see this window I just opened up with the GPO manual? Still on the license? Okay. All right, let me fix it. I see where it's going. So screen. All right. All right, you should be able to see that. All right. Okay, the PDF. Somebody's asked, I think I paid like $14.99 for the PDF editor writing. All right. And it's on page 95, what I want to show you, or around page 95. Nationalities. So I'm from New York, so I'm going to put New Yorker there. And if you're from South Carolina, South Carolinian. If you're from Colorado, you are a Coloradan. Connecticutter, Delawarean, you know, y'all get the point. There it is. All right. Let's go back to the application. Hold on, I'm trying to get y'all to show my screen again. It's acting up. Share. All right, there we go. We back to application. More New Yorker. If I would say if you want to write that in, you can. Put male, or you know, if you're female, and you see all the laws sitting right there, read the laws. So let's go back and read those laws. That was, you know what? I done read so many laws this morning, it's not even funny. So let's go back to that application and see what law was first. 56-190, was that 56-190? Yeah, 56,190. Or was it 90? 130. Oh yeah, 90. It's 90. Okay. I'm adding the 1. All right, 5690. The Department of Motor Vehicles basically says what that other thing says. May require every applicant to submit for identification purposes proof of name, social security number, and date of birth, date and place of birth when applying for a driver's license. An applicant for a driver's license, driver's permit, or a special identity card or renewal thereof may sufficiently prove the existence and validity of the social security number for purposes of section 14.7.130. So let's see what 14.7.130 says. There it is. They want to do it for a jury list. So that said, come on, it said here, an applicant for a driver's license, driver's permit, or special identification card or renewal thereof may sufficiently prove the existence and validity of the social security number for the purposes of section 14.7.130 by any document considered reliable by the Department of Motor Vehicles. Such document includes, but is not limited to, an official. So they're saying the reason why they want the social is for section 14.7.130, right? And that section is for what? Preparation of jury lists from electronic file of persons holding valid Carolina driver's license identification card. So there's your out. You're not going to be participating in any jury because only U.S. citizens work as a jury, right? Here's the rule. It says, in September of each year, the Department of Motor Vehicle shall furnish the State Election Commission an electronic file of the name, address, date of birth, social security number, sex, race, of person who are over the age of 18 years of citizens of the United States residing in each county who hold a valid South Carolina driver's license or identification card issued pursuant to section 56.1.335.0. The electronic file must also include persons who have obtained a valid South Carolina driver's license or identification card during the previous year and exclude persons whose driver's license or identification card has not been furnished or has not been renewed or has been invalidated by judicial or administrative action. But only those licensed drivers. Yeah, stop asking questions. Wait till I get to that question part. We don't have to read that. Why? Because none of us is planning on voting in. Well, I know I'm not. So the reason why you want the social is because of that, to verify your identity, that you are a U.S. citizen, and that you want to be a 14th Amendment, and you want to be on the jury pool. You don't want all of that, right? So they don't need your social. This is the reason why they want it. Because of that, right? It says because of that section is why they're asking for it. No other reason. So there's your out, and when I get to the letter, you'll see what you're gonna say. All right? That's why it's very important to read the laws, because the laws give you the answers to what you need to do. Right? I've already read 56.335 here. Read that. 18 USC 27, 21, 25. Let's go to that one. That's 25. Let me go back to 21. Hang on, somebody's texting me. This is 21. 21. This is basically telling you about personal information and why they want it. And what's the section they said we needed to look at was 18 USC. Well, they give you the whole section, so they want you to read the whole goddamn thing. And it's basically talking about I like section E. It says no state may condition or burden in any way the issuance of an individual's motor vehicle record as defined in 18 U.S.C. 2725(1) to obtain express consent. Nothing in this paragraph shall be construed to prohibit the state from charging an administrative fee for issuance of motor vehicle record. So that's important because why? I'm going to tell you to go do a FOIA request and they can't burden you. Now, they might try. FOIA requests, they shouldn't even be charging fees. But if they charge a small fee, I would pay it, be done with it. So I'm not going to read this whole section, but you need to read it. Read the whole thing yourself. These are the laws that they're using in these forms. Go back, 25. And here's the definition. Person means an individual, organization, or entity, but does not include a state or agency thereof. Personal information means information that identifies an individual, including an individual's photograph, social security number, driver identification number, name, address, but not the 5-digit zip code, telephone number, medical or disability information, but does not include information on vehicle accidents, driving violations, and driver status. So what they're saying is personal information is just that. Photographs, socials, identification cards, your name and address, but it doesn't, personal information is not accidents. So that means they can disclose that information publicly. If you had an accident, driving violations, driver status, they can publicly disclose that, but they can't give out your personal information. Highly restricted personal information means an individual photograph of image, social security number, medical disability information, and express consent means consenting writing, including consent conveyed as electronically that bears an electronic signature is defined. So what they're saying, before they can give out any information, they need your express consent. Here's the public law, 106-229. So anything they give out, they need your consent. Anything you give them, they need your consent. All right? What's this one? We'll come back to this after I go over some other stuff. Before I get to the forms, there's some other things I want y'all to look at. So as this pops up. Now, 5 U.S.C. Code Section 552A, records maintained on individuals. The term individual means a citizen of the United States or an alien lawfully permitted by permanent residence. So, whenever you see in that word individual, or they're saying persons, they're relating to a U.S. citizen. That's why I'm reading those rules, because one of the first ones that they had up there, hang on, let me, what was that? They had a definition up there. Hang on. That's the freedom of information. See, now my computer's moving slow again. All right. This is all ties into the template, this law here. But I wanted to show you that. That is 5 U.S.C. Section 552. I hope y'all taking notes and writing these down because you need these little codes. When they try to say you're a U.S. citizen or they have that word individual down, there it is. There's the law right there. I'll leave it there for a second. Right now, I'm going to go get questions because in a minute, I'm going into the actual document. Let me unmute. Oh. All right, who got it? Okay, let me get Roosevelt Bay's question first. It says the state app doesn't ask for a race. Where would I enter more at? They should ask for it somewhere. Well, what's going to happen is when I teach you how to do this, the document you submit with it is going to have your race on it. So that's going to, if it's not there, your paperwork is going to state who you are. So that'll become clear once I show you the template. All right, who else got a question? Hello?
Oh, one more question.
Yeah.
It asks for a mother's maiden name. Do I need to enter that information or
You
what?
just put unknown if you don't want to.
I've already put it in there, previously.
Well, I'm gonna show you how to amend it anyway. You can go do an amendment or turn that one in and just get a new one. You can do an amendment to the record. You know, when you go in there to do an amendment, that's another one that's gonna come clear once I show you the template. It's another question. All right, anybody else before I move on? All right, before I move on, this is the term state. Whenever you see the word state, the term state includes the District of Columbia, the Commonwealth, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, Guam, and American Samoa. So whenever you read in their laws and they have that word state, they're not talking about the states you're in, like North Carolina, Colorado. They are talking about the territories. I even have a letter support that. What did I do with it? Thought I had made a copy. Oh, I didn't save it to this folder. Let me find it. I knew I was missing something. Someone had to get clarification about that. Whenever they see that word, it's not here. I'll get to it later on, but I know where it is. I just gotta find it and pull it up. I know I did it. All right, let's go to the letter. I'll find that for y'all and show it to you. There's a letter that they wrote to one of the agencies asking to clarify what they mean by state. And they clarified it and said that the state doesn't mean your state. All right. Let's go to the document. All right. Let's make it a little bigger. Can y'all see that? Actually, let me hone in on it by going to it through the pages. All right. Oh, now I'm showing y'all the document. Computer want to move around and act crazy. I'm trying to make it a little bigger for y'all, but it ain't doing that. Can y'all see that? Let me make this a little bigger. Let's go to 150%. All right, that better? Somebody hit me up in the chat. Okay. All right, good. All right. This is at the top of it. It says this declaration shall remain a permanent part of the driver's license application and record. So you're gonna fill out that application, right? You know what? We might have to go back to the application because I think there's something else I skipped. But anyway, you're gonna fill out that application and you're gonna attach this with the application and demand that this remain a part of your application, right? So you're gonna put your address exactly how I have it up here. You see how everything's in brackets. You know, don't change anything there. Leave it exactly like that. Then I put public official name, so you're gonna figure out who the name of the commissioner of the DMV is, and then you're going to South Carolina DMV, and then you're gonna put the address. I didn't put, you know, maybe I need to put that. Oh, because some people need clarification. Somebody's mic is open because I can hear him moving around. Let me mute everybody. There you go. All right. Then you're going to put religious instructions and beliefs declaration of race and nationality. Again, get your mic off. And then here it is. I say, I, Barbara AKIEM, a Moore New Yorker, but not a citizen of the United States. And you can put more Aboriginal New Yorker if you want, you know, Aboriginal. What I was going to say is it probably was very difficult to see it through all of the arguing. It's very hard to see the truth when you're looking at all of the arguing because that's all you can see is what's not going right. What happened was you was put in a state of rest.